So many of you listening are incredible filmmakers, but if you're stuck in the cycle of always editing with no time to actually work on your business, it can really stunt your growth. Taylor and I see it all the time. A growing backlog, late nights behind the computer, and no space to focus on booking, marketing, or scaling. That's exactly why we're so excited to partner with Wanderlust. Wanderlust offers professional video editing services for filmmakers, including highlight films, feature films, documentary edits, ceremony and speech edits, elopements, and even social media teasers. And the best part is they match your style, so your films still feel like your artistry. Whether you edit in Final Cut, Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, they deliver a seamless outcome no matter which platform you use. Outsourcing your edits means more time working on your branding, making it to that networking event, and carving out time for education to actually grow your business instead of being buried in footage. Head over to wanderlust-videos.com to learn about their amazing services. And as a listener, you can get $100 off your first project with Wanderlust of $200 or more with the code LEVELUP100. If your backlog is keeping you from working on your business, Wanderlust is your solution.
This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
This one is recording, so I'm going to have you put this one out the window.
Okay, great. I don't know what I'm getting.
Episode 2, car chats.
Are you getting any food? You should probably eat so you don't get hangry.
What can I get for you today?
I'm going to do an iced latte with oat milk, a grande size, please. Can I do a grande nitro cold brew with sweet cream, please?
Anything else for you today?
No, that's it. This is probably the most unhinged series we've done on the Level Up podcast. Coming off of some, I would say, like very businessy focused podcast episodes at the beginning of 2026, Kelly and I thought it would be fun to take the opportunity of a road trip that we are doing together and batch record some road trippy episodes for you guys that are a little bit more laid back in nature, but still bring value. Last week, I would say zero value, 100% entertainment based. But this week we will bring a little bit more to the podcast.
Yeah. What do you think about doing the podcast or the episode being about like the ways that we have overpaid in our businesses over the last few years?
Yeah, I like that. During our fall mastermind, you guys, Kelly and I are chronically online. If you don't know, by now you knew. So I was scrolling TikTok and I came across, I get on like motivational speaker-esque TikTok a lot. And this one guy was talking about how everyone who is successful in life or in business got there because they overpaid in some way. And what that means is if you pay the average price through time, through like actual like monetary, like financial payments, you're going to get average results. And as filmmakers and photographers who are listening, who are interested in scaling their businesses, especially into the luxury market, which is just like based on the definition, like slightly less attainable, honestly, you have to overpay to get there.
Yeah. And like Taylor said, this is either overpaying in like actual monetary form of cash money, or cash money, or in the terms of time. And a lot of times I would say in the beginning parts of our career, time is really what makes the most sense because we don't have a lot of cash to be able to maybe throw money at a situation or whatever it may be. Like we all probably start off with a free template through Squarespace or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very much how I started too. And then you get to have a little bit more money and then you get to, are you making room for our coffee right now?
I'm like trying to slyly hand Kelly her water bottle to make room in the cup holders.
We're in the drive-thru at Starbucks right now as we just ordered, and we're getting our coffees really soon. But anyway, so in the beginning, we're giving up time. And in our In our fall mastermind, we had such a good group of over 80 students, photographers and filmmakers in the industry and a content creator.
Yeah, I think we had one content creator. And actually, we had somebody who just does family photos. She doesn't even do weddings.
But she wants to serve luxury clientele. And so that's what I want to say too. When we chat with people, either they email us and they're looking for more guidance on if we could be the right mentors for them. I actually had a girl who's a content creator and she emailed us and said, hey, I'm thinking about actually, we're just coming up on getting our coffees. So hold tight.
How are we doing, you guys?
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
You guys just missed. So I just roll up. I forgot that I hadn't paid. And so I'm just staring at him. I'm like, hi. And he's like, that's $11.90. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to pay you. I'm going to do the whole
ASMR.
the ASMR that the influencers do, where they shake the coffee at you.
The ice and the latte.
Yep.
And that beautiful sound. I did a nitro cold brew with sweet cream, which does not have any ice in it. So I can't, no ASMR coming from Taylor's side of the car.
I'm going to be so honest right now. You're going to need to guide me back to the freeway. I have no idea where we are.
Why don't you finish your story while I pull up the map?
Yeah, so the content creator was like, I know that your program is generally for photographers and filmmakers, and you're probably talking like a lot about just like, maybe like technical gear things. I'm like, actually, it's not that at all. We do have an editing module in the thing. We talk about album sales and like some stuff that are photo specific or video specific, but this is really a business course, which is why we've had makeup artists go through the program that have seen incredible results. Like we just got a DM from one of our makeup girls that said, before taking our program, she was charging, less than $200 for her services.
Now she's charging over $750. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just a testament. This is not going to be a giant ad for Mastermind, I promise. It's just we're getting into like investing in yourself, investing in your business, and it's going to be through time, money, emotions, heartache. Just kidding. Well, maybe.
I mean, I experienced some heartache. Maybe that can be a future podcast episode of things. But anyway, so I was talking to our students and we had a really interesting question that popped up during one of our live coaching sessions. And it was just kind of a one-off question. And they said, at what price point do we do things like edit out exit signs and do like more, edit out maybe a telephone wire like from a portrait or like things like that. And I was like, now. You don't wait until you reach a price point to do that. You do it now. This is how you're overpaying in your time, and I get it. But like those are the ways in which you get noticed by that next level of client. The small touches that you make in, the fine details, it's really what that next level of client is looking for. And it's going to set you apart. Like you may be feeling like, oh, maybe I'm setting myself apart because I'm sending them a little candle when they book or like whatever it may be. And I've never done the gift route because I've always put my value in time into what is it that they're going to look back on. And it's probably not going to be the candle that I sent them when they signed their contract. It's probably going to be, the fact that I spent a lot of time on their film and I'm even like masking things out. And I was doing that stuff from the beginning because I knew it was just a reflection of my professionalism and portfolio as a whole.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, so overpaying can come in so many forms. I mean, of course, it's going to pay off when it comes to like the artistry of it and the level of refinement, I will say, that your work has, or recognizing your weaknesses. Like if color grading or editing with color as a photographer or filmmaker is not your strength, like take a course, buy a preset, like things like that. But there's so many ways to overpay. There's so many ways. And honestly, I will say, like, for me, I overpaid a lot through like financial means. Like that was one of my strategies when I was getting going. I am like a serial course and program purchaser. I enroll in all the things because well, first of all, I don't necessarily trust everything I see on YouTube or like hear on podcasts. Just kidding. Ours is great. But I like to find like one vetted source to get my information from and just like dive all into everything that they have to offer. So, I mean, I probably have logins for like 10 to 12 courses across a whole variety of different topics, from sound design to color grading to the business side of things. And I think that helped my business a ton in the beginning. So um, maybe let's chat a little bit about overpaying, how that can look. And do you want to go through some ways that we ourselves have overpaid or we've seen other people overpay and the results it gets them? Because I promise you, people at the top of the industry overpaid at some point, or if someone seemingly blows up overnight, it's because they were so aggressive in their strategy and they overpaid. Wow. If we turn this into a drinking game of every time we say overpaid.
Every single time we say overpay, let's take a drink of our coffee, and then we're just going to be buzzing with anxiety by the end of this episode. Does coffee give you anxiety?
It can. If I'm already in a stressed state, it definitely enhances that. But I will shake and I will get really sweaty for sure.
Yeah.
Do you get sweaty?
Oh, I get so sweaty. Yeah. Just real talk over here. The sweatiest. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because we're coming on all of these merging. We're right at Wilshire Boulevard. So we're in Beverly Hills land right now. And it's a little crazy time. And then we're going to move onto another freeway soon to take us to our next destination. It's so funny that you actually flew down this morning from Sacramento, and now we're on this northbound freeway that's this way back to Sacramento.
We're on our way to Santa Barbara, and I could have just flown to Santa Barbara, but then I would have missed out of 3 hours of Kelly time in the car.
Did you even look at ticket prices? What was it?
No. I didn't even look.
Why would I when we could be 6 hours in the car together, round trip?
You're like, Taylor. Dang it.
Yeah. Okay, so ways of overpaying back in the beginning for Paul and I was saying yes to everything, right? We were wildly getting underpaid in the first 2 years for sure because we just wanted to have experience. We were shooting weddings for $100, $300, $500. $1,300 was probably the most. Oh, our oil's at a minimum?
Add 2 quarts of oil as soon as possible. See owner's meeting. Do you even know how to do that?
No.
Do we need to call Paul and see if this is serious?
We may need to call Paul, but I want to get into Thousand Oaks before, we'll be okay for a bit. Okay, let's pause. Let's call Paul. Okay, wait, let's record this.
Okay.
Hi, so we are by Wilshire Boulevard, and I just got a ping from the car that my oil is at a minimum. First of all, what kind of oil does this car take? And then we'll just stop somewhere, or should we have someone do it for us?
I mean, I think you could do it.
There's a Jiffy Lube 2 miles away. Would that be a good fit?
Yeah, you could do it. If the thing just came on, the car's not going to explode.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, bye. Okay, so I think the most we were ever paid in the first 2 years was $1,300. And honestly, I was happy to do it. I had just graduated from college. Actually, I was still in college one of the years. And I just wanted to have a ton of weddings on my portfolio. I was just looking, it was all about a quantity game at that point. And if someone would say yes to allowing me to shoot their wedding so that I could have another film to put on my website or on Facebook, this was before Instagram days, guys, I was there. That's all I wanted.
So have you heard I don't know if it's a parable or if it's a real story, but there's this story. It's supposed to be philosophical, but it's a pottery teacher in college, and he splits the class in half, and 50% of the students are instructed, you only have to make one pottery piece, but you will be graded on it, and it has to be perfect. And the other half of the pottery class, he says, I want you to make as many pottery things as possible from over the next 12 weeks, and then the final one will be graded. And the people who sat and thought about it and read up on how to make the perfect pottery and overplanned and theorized about the pottery without implementing, their pottery scores were drastically lower than the people who just did the volume at first. And I think that's kind of what you did. That is one thing we do caution people with when scaling to the luxury market is you kind of do have to pay your dues. Not that you owe anyone anything, but you really do have to have a certain number of weddings under your belt to be able to function at a really high level within the industry, even if you're the most insanely talented person, like the art of weddings is beyond just the physical products that we are delivering to our clients. A lot of the art is like navigating the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that. So I feel like that's kind of what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had no strategy in the beginning.
I'm remembering one of our mastermind students overpaid when he stayed up all night and knocked out a new website within 24 hours when he wanted to do a rebrand. I thought that was pretty crazy. That was Drew Coleman.
He stayed up all night. I think he stayed up for like a combined, it was an insane amount of hours combined, and was like, yep, like we told him, like, it's time for a name change. Let's do a rebrand. Like, you're gonna like restructure everything from the outside in. It's interesting how like we do guide our students from like outward inward. We work outward first and then we move inward. And so he went for it. I was so proud of him. Like,
some people sit on things way too long. And it's the pottery. It's like the pottery example. Like they're theorizing and they're planning and they're thinking about it. Meanwhile, your competitor has already iterated 6 versions and is like on their 7th version when you haven't even knocked out one. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It is a volume game in the beginning. And I do think that the early bird gets the worm in a lot of places, right? Like if you can be first to market, like Apple, like the iPod was first to market and no other like MP3 player has ever beat them, even though Microsoft and their Zune tried to. My husband is not an Apple user. He is like everything but Apple, and he had a Zune and he was like, it was way better. And I'm like, uh-huh.
I have never heard of a Zune in my entire life. I don't know what that is. I was like, what? That is so funny. Okay, let's talk about overpaying on when overpaying, because I'm all about like in life things, like overpaying for things, like when I'm making an investment in something where I have a strategy behind it. I think that overpaying either in time or in money can work for you so many times, but I can think back to times where we overpaid per se on something and it didn't yield anything. And most of the times now, looking back, I can see that it's because I had no strategy on where this was going to get me to next.
Yeah.
So for an example, I was actually telling you a story of a wedding that we did. It was year 2. We had somehow gotten on a wedding planner's radar, and she asked us to come and shoot like a behind the scenes video of their team that was producing a $50,000 wedding for 50 people. And at the time I was like, oh my gosh, how could anyone ever be spending like that type of Sorry, I almost hit the car in front of us. Taylor's looking up like, hit the brake, Kelly.
So I have an imaginary brake on my side, but it's not very helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get off in 1.2 miles.
Okay, great.
Here at the Level Up Co., Kelly and I truly do believe that an elevated client experience from the very first touch point of that first email all the way through the delivery of your wedding films or those final galleries are all so important. And that's why Kelly and I both have been using and loving VidFlow for the last several years, and we recommend to all of our students and our audience members to use VidFlow as well. Delivery experience truly matters. The way your clients view their films for the very first time should be a magical moment. It needs to be a professional and branded experience, instead of basic file sharing like Dropbox or Google Drive, or even Vimeo or YouTube links. Through VidFlow, clients can stream their videos through smart TVs, streaming devices, and set-up boxes. Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, you name it. There are so many options for clients to watch and experience their films for the very first time on the big screen at home. And VidFlow is now offering photo delivery as well. They now support photo delivery with their new hybrid galleries, which is a major benefit for hybrid shooters and combined photo and video teams. You can now deliver your beautiful photo galleries alongside your video galleries in one place. Level up your delivery experience for 2026 and beyond with VidFlow. You can get started today by going to vidflow.co/thelevelupco.
Anyways, so she was like, I'm producing this 50-person wedding for $50,000. It's going to be amazing. It's like literally everything that we're so proud of. And they don't really have, well, originally it was told that they didn't have a videographer, which turned out they did have a videographer. But I think it was like she wasn't confident that they were going to be able to like get her the assets and footage that she was hoping for, which is actually what a lot of like people do still now to this day. So they were like kind of ahead of the game. And so we went to the wedding. Then we were kind of asked like, oh, could you also like get some things with the couple? Like they were wondering if like they can get like a cut of some kind, like a little teaser put together. I'm like, of course. So we go ahead and we put this together for them. It turned out great. They were so happy. But like, I never like followed up or like curated that relationship afterwards. Like here they got this this amazing film. We put in our time, overpaid. We didn't get paid a single dollar for that. But we were able to have it, I guess, on our portfolio. But I could have taken it so much further in like cultivating that relationship, or even taking that film and showing it to other planners that I wanted to build a relationship, being like, I just created this film for this planner for a portfolio worthy wedding that they were really proud of. And now they have this like amazing brand film or behind the scenes like educational film for future clients to showcase what they do. Like I'm just talking out loud and going off on a tangent right now, but like I didn't do any of that stuff. Like I needed a mentor in those years rather than just trying to figure it out. Like I had to do it all alone.
Yeah, I mean, it is great to have someone to bounce ideas off of, or even to like plant new ideas into your head. Kind of talking about ways people that I've seen that are really successful in the industry, how they're overpaying. A big one, like I already mentioned, education. Like everyone has gaps. Like whether you're super like great as an artist, like there's still going to be things that you can improve on, or if you are lacking on the business side of things, like there's always going to be something that can be filled by education 100%. But a lot of it, if you look at the mainstream, so if you look at the industry as a triangle, right? Like the base of the triangle is the biggest, and that's where most people fall. And that's where I would say like most people have like a moderate amount of effort they're putting in. And then the top of the triangle gets gradually smaller until the point. And I would say like the level of strategy, effort, and money, and I would say like consistency over time, is gradually rises as you hit the top of the triangle as well. And so how that looks for a lot of people is the understanding that things are not always linear when it comes to payment, like on the receiving end. So a lot of people will be like, well, I have to charge that planner for the headshots that I took for them because I usually charge $300 for headshots. And it's like, that's playing the short game. That is like, to Lindsay Conklin of Lareb's point, stepping over dollars to pick up pennies.
I love that. Yeah, I love that so much.
Yes. And so I think that's the take that a lot of people follow in the industry, which ends up burning a potential opportunity that they didn't realize was an opportunity. So that can look like, I think a lot of people would be shocked to know that the media team for big events and conferences and things like Engage, Kinetic, things like that, it's an unpaid gig. And so you are working and flying to a place and staying there and flying out and hiring a team all on your dime for the visibility. And a lot of people have a hard time understanding or like coming to terms with the fact that that does pay off. I mean, heck, even like attending something like Engage, like a ticket at $6,500, but an all-in investment of $10,000, like I do see like people on threads being like, I'll never understand. And it's like, well, that might be some closed-minded thinking, you know?
I'll say too, I fell into that for a long time. I never understood. Like I did not understand. I had some of our best friends in the industry were very early adopters to Engage, and they were literally telling us, like we hung out with these friends multiple times a week. We were in very similar stages of life of growing our business, and they were literally telling us, you guys, you have to go to Engage. There's literally no videographers that go to Engage, like at the time. And I was like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't think I think I can do this on my own again.
My work speaks for itself.
Work speaks for itself. And our business would 100% look so different if we would have like gotten out of our own like stubborn ways. And this is just like real talk. And if we would have in like 2014 attended Engage when they were attending Engage.
You guys would have exploded so much faster.
So much faster.
That's okay. I mean, you guys are doing great. but it did take you a while to get there.
It took me a while. And I also think too, part of it is like you just get busy in the business.
Yeah, that's what it is.
How do you break that mold? Like, how do you break that? For us, it was COVID. Like, we were so busy in the business until COVID broke us out of that. And then we could work on the business and adjacently onto other businesses. And so I'm so actually thankful now that we had that forced us to slow down and make space. But like, Taylor, how would you say, how do you get out of like just that hustle of being in the business and you get so busy and you don't, your blinders are so far like on and in your business?
Well, I think that there's a lot of things that you can do. I'm going to kind of like lay out my perspective on it. I will say like, I think I'm a pretty strategic person overall.
You
Like,
are.
I'm pretty calculated.
Yeah.
One of the first points, I think, you're going to turn left in half a mile on Victory Boulevard.
Great.
We're still on our hunt to find oil for the car. So one of the best points I think ever, I feel I have mixed feelings about Alex Hormozy as a whole, but I think he's really smart in a lot of ways. And his philosophy is the first 4 hours of every workday should be spent on tasks that will grow the business, right? So if you're looking at an 8-hour workday, your most like I would say, well, for me, I'm a morning person. So like your most focused time is spent on things that will get you your next clients or to scale the business and clients that you already have. And so if you look at it that way, instead of like immediately hitting the like editing room or like immediately scrolling Instagram or immediately doing something that like in the end doesn't really matter, and instead you have a game plan on the tasks that are going to actually move the needle for you, then that's the best way to do it. I think people spend 99% of their time editing and communicating with clients and shooting, and 1% of their time on business growth. And if you shifted that to 50-50, especially for like a short, like you probably don't need to like live like that forever in your business. Like it will get to a point where it's a little bit more on autopilot. But you're going to see like immense growth because that's so many hours spent of your day, like on business growth activities. So I really like that. For me personally, like what has helped me the most is I'm so crystal clear on my why and my end goal. And I'm not talking from like an artistic standpoint. Like we all are artistically fulfilled by what we're creating in the industry. Like that goes without saying. But what I'm looking at is like my financial why, because if you want to grow a business, like at the end of the day, a lot of it does come out to like finances. And so I've shared this before, but like I know exactly the dollar amount that I need by the year 2030 when we want to move. So like that is my guiding North Star, my guiding light, and understanding that every dollar that I fall short of that number is like one less thing I can have in my like dream home that we're working towards. Like that's the not upgraded counters in the kitchen or like whatever. And that sounds like very shallow, but for me, like that does fuel me. And so everyone's going to have different guiding lights. Some people want to retire their spouse. Some people want to put their kids through private school. Some people want to, I don't know. There's like an infinite number of like financial reasons that we are all pursuing our businesses. But if you can keep that at the forefront of your mind, it's a lot easier to stay focused on what will like get you to that goal. I want to say I'm like full of like stories and like metaphors and stuff, but like I heard one, I'm going to butcher it, but basically what it was like a hungry lion will ceaselessly like chase down a gazelle until like its last breath to make sure it's fed, and like the what is like a bunch of lions called the pride of lions is dead, right? Or fed, right? So like if they have that like guiding light, like they will see it through. But if the den had just eaten 3 days ago, they're less motivated, and so they're going to give up a lot easier. And so I think a lot of people like sometimes it's a lack of hunger, not from a sense of like scarcity or urgency, but like it's not remembering why you're doing this as a job.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like if you don't have big financial goals or like whatever and you're cool coasting, like no pressure at all. But if you're frustrated that you're like unable to stay motivated and you wish you could, then this kind of mindset shift might help you find a place mentally where you can stay fueled.
Or even if you just miss those like early years of like growth and what that felt like I'll just never forget like in those early years, first 3, 4 years of business, like Paul and I would literally like every single time an inquiry came through and it came in a contract signed, I would like jump up and down.
Yeah.
Like I literally would physically jump up and down. I was so just amazed that we were actually like doing it, like that we were like making this happen, especially when like my who I love, but my high school, um, sorry, we're merging, we're almost there. Um, my high school video production teacher heard that we were getting into weddings, and he was like, "This isn't a career path," and we were just like, I think it is. Like, I think I can see pretty clearly that it is. And then when we were we were doing it, like we were making it happen. And I was so grateful for every signed contract. And then I will be honest, there's years where you just kind of fall stagnant and it starts to kind of feel like a job and it feels a little mundane. And then you kind of like have to break yourself out of it and be like, why can't I feel the way that I did when it was like new and exciting? It's like almost like when you're in like a dating relationship and you're like, wait, like maybe my marriage is starting to feel a little bit like mundane. Like let's do like whatever we need to do to be able to get back to like that excited feeling like that we were in when we were like just newly dating or newly married or like whatever. And you can find like hints of that. Like you can really make a change in your business, in your family life, say in marriage. We're like now broadening out to like all assets of life, but like you can really make a change and be living a completely different life. You don't have to just like sit and just say, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I think for a lot of people, like, that's like big, like dopamine rush. Like what you're explaining is like the dopamine hit. It's like setting a goal, putting in the work to achieve the goal, and then achieving the goal, which is like floods your brain with dopamine. And I feel like for a lot of people, like that is like the $10,000 threshold. Like everyone strives to hit that first 5-figure booking. And then once you do, and then that becomes the normal, then it's kind of like getting into those like years 9, 10, 11, 12 of a marriage where you're like, this was something I was striving for so long, but I already have it. Like, what's that next?
Yeah.
Rush of dopamine.
I know that you don't have a lot of dopamine rushes like artistically, but I do feel like you hit that next threshold of dopamine rush when you did that 3-day like Lake Tahoe wedding last year. And that was what we kicked off our debrief series. If you are a new podcast listener and you're, not familiar, we do these series a couple times a year. And so last fall, starting in September, we launched our debrief series. And so we talked about the ins and outs of like the real realities of the weddings that we were shooting in a heavy fall that we each had. And that wedding was just next level. And I feel like for you, it did give you that dopamine like rush of like, oh, wow, this is the next one. Like I've arrived at like a new layer.
Yeah, for sure. And now I'm like, well, I want that to be my normal. So like that's my next goal, I guess, is like until they all feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never going to work. Like it could be a high percentage, but it'll never be everyone. But that's okay. It's cool.
It's funny too, like mastermind students, I think sometimes
We're there. Whoopsies, it's on our left.
Oh, here it is.
We'll have to circle back around.
Should we end this one and we'll pick it back up when we're getting our oil changed?
Yeah, let's do like closing thoughts. I feel like we got a little derailed from like overspending or like overpaying.
When we just yap at each other.
Yeah, this is kind of what our phone conversations sound like.
We really do. Okay, so overpaying. I see value in overpaying. And if you're listening and maybe you're holding yourself back from overpaying, either in making that next investment that you know you need to make, whether it's that new website that is just like dating your business so hard because you need a new website, or whatever it is. Maybe it's going to that conference that's going to get you in the room with people to get your business to the next level. Like there's so many ways that you can, decide how you want to overpay. But if you have a strategy in mind, it's 100% always going to work really well. And one of my biggest regrets in those earlier years was overpaying without a concept in mind, without a North Star like Taylor has. And she's so strategic. And I will say, like you said, like I find myself to be a pretty strategic person. And I for sure see that in you. Like
I need to find a U-turn situation. Oh, we're going to turn here right now. No left turn right here. No left turn.
Oh, no.
Okay, we will not be turning left. So yeah, I would say overpay. Like here in 2026, look for areas to overpay in either your time or for the investment that's going to get your business to that next level.
Yeah, I would say like if you're having a hard time like getting over the like term overpay, like maybe look at it through like go the extra mile and do what is not normal, right? Like a normal person sits on the same website for 10 years and like gets to a venue at exactly on time. What is going the extra mile? Okay, well, it's getting there an hour early to make sure you're all loaded in and you got your drone shots out of the way and making sure you're updating your website and portfolio quarterly. Like that's not normal. But like that is what like the people at the top are doing.
Or like it's not normal to like break free from what your typical client experience was or what your booking process looks like or what your post-wedding process looks like. And that in our mastermind, I mean, not to throw in mastermind, but we just love it because when we start to work internally with all of our students, it takes a lot of overcoming, setting down old tools, picking up new tools. But like, it's normal to like stay in our ways. Like we are very much creatures of habit. And so keeping the same like habitual like routine of how you first started booking your clients at $1,500, it's not going to be the same way that you guide your clients through a process at 15,000. Like it's just so different. And so, you know, look for areas to get uncomfortable, look for areas to quote unquote overpay in terms of the time, finding new resources that are going to speak better to that luxury client, and to be able to partner alongside wedding planners really cohesively. End it there?
Yeah.
All right, I found a way to U-turn. I can't believe we have to go get freaking oil.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.